It's April. And you know what they say about April? April is not chill. Good morning, everyone. Something amazing happened. Look, I have a new camera. Okay, now we have that out of the way. Today I'm gonna start on the first actual big project, which is a Regency project. I've been wanting to do this for, I think, over a year. It's of course inspired by Bridgerton, like so many, but it's more or less even more inspired by Angela Clayton's video, which was inspired by Bridgerton. Yeah, I'll link it down below. It's a really interesting video and I really like how she plays with fabrics, and I want to make an attempt of that for myself. I'm going to use this book. This gives a really nice layout and patterns of, well, Regency women's dress. I do know this is more America orientated, but I think I prefer the American Regency dresses. Since they do not have trains, they're a little bit more practical, and I like practicality. Since I do not have anything and I would like to make 2 Regency dresses, I need to start with the foundations, which means this chemise also will be this petticoat. I did decide on making a petticoat or a slip because both of the dresses will be out of a kind of white fabric, so I would like something to cover up the corset. What I'm gonna do is I need to scale up the pattern. So of course the petticoat I have to drape. I do not have a pattern for that, but for the shift I do have a pattern, but that pattern is, I think, on a 1/4 scale. I believe so. And what is very nice about this book is that it does give you the patterns, you just have to scale them up, which it's not that complicated. I've done it before with Janet Arnold's books. So this is the pattern. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a straight edge and kind of work from there. This one will be rather easy, this one will be rather easy. I mean, this one is just a square. These two I'll be working from the bottom. I hope I can do this in one day, but I've said those things before, so I'm not counting on it. But since this seems to be a very simple pattern and a very simple garment in general, I think I should be able to do it in a day. I'm not going to do this historically accurate because I do need to speed up a little bit, since I lost almost a week of being able to make this, since I did not finish my other dress in time, which is on my last video. And also I would like to have this done as quickly as possible because I feel like that corset's going to take a lot of time, and in between I would like to work on a personal project. And I would like to do some reorganizing and tidying up. So there's lots and lots to do in between, which is why I would like this one finished as quickly as possible, preferably today, and then work on a petticoat tomorrow and have that finished tomorrow. Sewing machines, yeah, that's a thing. I do not have my own sewing machine anymore because it was being weird. So this is my mom's. I'm going to be using my mom's. So let's get started. Scaling up this beauty. Also, since I have a new camera, I hope the audio will be a little bit better, and probably footage will be all over the place since I'm still learning how to work with this. I thought this was really cute. This is the fabric I'm using. It's just a plain bed sheet like cotton that I think I was given at some point. When I opened it up, I found out there is embroidery on this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line this up in the middle of the center front, cut the center front out, and maybe piece the center back in like 2 pieces. Look at how pretty. Like, it'd be a shame not to use, right? For now, I've cut out the front, I believe. That's the back. And the straps. I have not cut out the sleeves and the gusset yet. That's because with this I kind of would like to do a twirl. So I'm going to machine baste it together with a large stitch so I can easily rip it out if necessary. I have also cut the back not on a fold as I wanted to, but that's just because fabric savage, since with the front I wanted to have the embroidery down the center front, which I have succeeded with, but that meant that I had to cut this out of the middle of the panel and I'd have big side pieces left over. And that was perfect, big enough for the back. So it'll have a seam down the center back, but you know, piecing is period, so it's fine. I'm now gonna sew it together very quickly and try it on. And I think I'll come back once I have it on to show you how it looks. I'm doing it this way so I can show you the full size shift chemise thing. I'm really happy I did this because I have discovered that I would like these to be, I think, a little bit more narrow. The front is too big, which can be very simply solved with a gathering. The back is also a bit too big. I might just take it in a little bit. I'm gonna see if I pin this out. I mean, I can take out quite a lot in the back as well. It's a bit big. So maybe I'm gonna take out a little bit of like the sides. I'm gonna change these a little bit because according to the pattern, they're not like rectangle shapes. I'm gonna make them rectangular because I feel like that's what they used to be. And that's just gonna make things a lot easier putting it together. That's a lot better. It looks very ugly now. I just basically put some tucks. I still need to put a tape in the front, but that's totally fine. That was totally normal in that time, just to make it kind of hug your chest because there's more space around the bust area than there is on the upper bust. At the back, doing awesome now. Don't know if you can see. It's no longer gaping really. It feels a lot more secure now. I'm gonna make these adjustments to the patterns, take it all apart. I have cut out all of my pieces. I've made a bobbin, machine is ready to go. I'm running out of time for today, so I think I'm gonna set you up somewhere where you can have kind of a nice overview of the room and zoom through it. Alright, little update. I think I have some footage, but I did not film that much simply because I'm trying to finish this in a day and I'm not succeeding, and I'm already telling myself it's fine, and I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it's not the most flattering, but then again, it's a shift. It's not supposed to be flattering. This is not supposed to be the outer dress. So I like the length. It's fine. I still love how I managed that embroidery bit. To put that on center front, just give it a little bit of extra. I found a little tape, I'll show that tomorrow, that I can use as like the drawstring. I'm gonna put the drawstring on the inside, the little holes, so they won't be visible on the outside and won't interfere with any of the dresses. So this is coming along rather quickly. The back, I'm gonna see if I can show you, is looking very nice as well. I have movement. It's gaping a little bit, but that is necessary because if I don't do that, I cannot do this. I cannot move my arms forward very much. So this is where I'm gonna leave it for tonight. I'm gonna press in the hems, stitch them all. No, not stitch them down, pin them all down, and then it's good. Hi, good morning. It's not too good weather outside, so you might hear some rain on the window today. Really sorry about that. So yesterday, I basically I didn't get the shift finished, but I have made great progress on it. I didn't film a lot because I was just working very, very fast. I'm procrastinating a lot in between. I only need to put in the sleeves and then do a bunch of finishing works, including sewing in all of the hems. But I'm gonna leave that for now. I'm gonna tidy it away and I'm gonna start on the petticoat. Because I kind of feel like if I get the petticoat up to the hand sewing stage, I can after that sew in the sleeves of the shift and then do all of the hand sewing downstairs in front of the TV or up here with a movie on my computer or something like that, which is a really nice idea to me. You have seen my reference pic for the petticoat. What I am going to do is I'm going to raise the waistline a little bit, just so it's like right under the bust, especially in the back. I feel like in the back it's too low. Transfer this to paper and make a twirl. So we have a twirl of the front. It's a bit low here, but it's supposed to be, I think the back isn't properly set, so that's better. I need to add, I think I'm gonna add a centimeter here, but the biggest problem is it's actually too small. Like you can tell, it's overlapping here. But the back is out of shape. I put a big pleat, like a 1-inch deep pleat in there that I've taken out just to get the front to meet. So I'm gonna add extra length to the front, I'm gonna add extra length here to the side, and hopefully that'll do the trick. I need to add a lot because this also, they need to be gathering here. I have a center front opening now, but that's just for ease of fitting basically, so I can kind of fit it myself, see how much space I have everywhere. There will be a center back opening instead. I have my pattern ready. I'm going to cut it out with extra seam allowances just to be sure. I have a little bit of fabric there, but I've not decided right now which fabric I'm gonna use. For now, I was kind of looking at the skirt of this thing. It has a waistband, but that's just going to be like a rectangle. I don't even know how wide. And it looks like there's a seam here. And there might be another one like right here. I'm not entirely sure what this all is. I do know the back is pleated. So what I have decided to do, this is my front panel, which will be maybe an inch, inch and a half, maybe 4 centimeters before the side seam. Around the side seam, I'm gonna add in what is basically a gore or a flared panel basically that is only maybe 7 centimeters wide at the top. And then this will be the back, and the back is almost as wide as the front, but that's because I'm going to pleat that. I think this is what is kind of closest to this one. I've looked at Janet Arnold's books, but I cannot find too much about it, as they depict mostly dresses, not really the petticoats. So I'm gonna go with this. How long am I gonna make these? I don't know. I think I'm gonna put the bodice together now first and then see from there, because I also don't know how long these distances need to be. So this whole mess here is supposed to be the petticoat. I have sewn together the skirt, which have been sewn with French seams, and the bodice is also partially together. There's some handwork to be done that I'll do later, but for now we're gonna focus on this is a back piece, isn't it? Yeah. The gathering of the front, which means I have to gather it up and try it on. So yet again, I didn't finish. I've got all of the skirt panels ready. I cannot stitch them together yet because I do not know how wide the front panel should be. This is the bodice. I've done a bunch of hand sewing on this little eyelets here. so I can tie up the front here, what needs to be gathered. The only thing is that I flip this part to the outside. But you know, I can't really be bothered and it looks pretty neat, so I'm gonna keep it that way. I didn't finish it. I kind of feel a little bit bummed about that, but at the same time, I can't be bothered really. I think I should stop telling myself that I can make things in a day. I can. I've done it. Twice. But they should be modern projects more than anything else, because this just requires so much hand finishing that the simple projects are simple enough. I just make it hard for myself, I guess. But that's it for today. It's 11 now. I'm gonna go to bed. Hopefully I can get the bodice fitted to me tomorrow. I cannot really do that on a mannequin, so I need to put it on, draw in the gathers that I have down the front, and then I can start stitching on the waistband. And when I have the waistband, I can stitch on the skirt. But first I need to put on the buttons and buttonholes, because if I don't do that now, I cannot do a fitting. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm starting to ramble. I just need to go and sleep. Good morning. Last time I filmed it was Thursday. Friday I did a lot of work downstairs with the hand sewing, and yesterday was insanely busy. I didn't even come up here because by the time it was all done, I was just so tired and I had a headache and I went to bed early, so nothing got done yesterday. So today I'm back, and as I said, I have a lot of hand sewing done. What I've all done, this is the top of the petticoat. I've sewn in the back plackets, the buttons, the buttonholes. All of the hems are done as far as possible. The only thing I did wrong is that I have already sewn the sides here, whilst I still need to catch the tapes in that part. So that's a bit of a bummer, but we'll just unpick that a little bit and then we'll put the tapes in. This is, by the way, the thread I'm using. Brooks Patent Glacé thread. And it's a 100% cotton thread, but I do not believe it's nicely waxed, so I am waxing it with some bee wax over there. I have the sleeves here, which are both fully hemmed. I did that with a running stitch. I decided on a running stitch because it just felt like it was a little bit quicker and it's probably as sturdy. I've sewn in eye holes, eyelets, in the center front inside. Now I need to put the tapes in. The hem of this thing is also done. I'm gonna go start with sewing the sleeves in, and after that the chemise should be finished, so that should be pretty quick win for today. And then after that it's sewing in the tapes in this one, and I'm working on the skirt, trying to combine them. And I still need to hem the skirt because of course it's not together yet. So I think that's up for today. I am truly hoping I should be able to get it finished today. It just depends on how motivated and how focused I am. But I think I'm pretty focused, so let's start with the sleeves and we'll go from there. The shift is finished! Yay! I had to re-sew in one of the sleeves because they're sewn in with French seams and I did it inside out, so that was very frustrating and I had to unpick 2 seams and re-sew it in. But now they're finished, they're in, it's all done. I have tied up the center front here just to make it a little bit more snug, and I do really love how it looks. Okay, on to the petticoats. We have a waistband on the bodice. Now I finally know how long or how wide I should make the skirt. I have made the gathers like right under the bust, simply because if I put them here there'd be a lot of space in here and this would start basically falling up. It is actually slightly too big. It should be fine. I hope the waistband's kind of pulling it down a little bit, keeping it on its place, keeping it a bit lower. unfortunately there was a line in my fabric. I'm just going to ignore that. They're finished! I finished the shift yesterday morning and the petticoat I finished yesterday evening. What did I do? I've sewn the bodice to the waistband yesterday and sewn the skirt fully together because now I finally knew how wide I had to make the skirt. So everything is sewn together with French seams in the skirt. The waistband I've sewn right sides together on one side of the waistband because the waistband has an outside and an inside, and the inside I have whipped with the seam allowance upwards, so the inside is also nice and tidy. The hem I have running stitched together. I've done a bit of running stitching up here, and all of the hems of the chemise or shift are also running stitched as they're part of a bigger project. And I thought hemming all of the hems with a running stitch would create a bit of texture, create a bit of cohesiveness, and it also saves a bit of time because I can do running stitches faster than I can do whip stitches or slip stitches or herringbone stitches or whatever other finishing stitch you can use. So that was it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you'll stick around to see the next 3 parts in this series of creating 2 Regency dresses. Both of these pieces were the first actual historical thing that I've made in a very long time, and since they were quite simple, I think it was a great way of getting back into historical costuming. The next part will be the corset, and I am sure it will be an adventure because I'll be using the same book as I used for the shift up here. And I've already counted squares and I believe it's going to be way too big for me. It's going to be a mess because I'm also leaving soon. So I probably need to take some work with me, which is going to be interesting. But at the same time, I'm really excited for this project and I'm really excited for this trip. So we're gonna make it work. Anyways, thank you for watching. Stick around if you want to see further projects of this, and on to the next stash busting project, I guess.